This is my blood. This is my human physiology blood slideshow. I'll just read through it real quick. Functions of the circulatory system. Transportation. Respiratory, transports oxygen and CO2. Nutritive, carry absorbed digestion products to liver and heart tissue. Excretory, carry metabolic waste to kidneys to be excreted. Functions of the circulatory system. Regulation, hormonal, carry hormones to target tissues. Temperature, divert blood to cool or to warm the body. Function of the circulatory system. Protection, clotting, prevents blood loss. Immune, leukocytes, protect against pathogens. Components of circulatory system. Circulatory system consists of two subdivisions, cardiovascular system and lymphatic system. Cardiovascular system, heart equals 4-chambered pump, blood vessels, permit blood flow between heart and tissues. Arteries, arterioles, capillaries, venules, veins. Lymphatic system transports interstitial fluid. Composition of blood. Erythrocytes, red blood cells, leukocytes, white blood cells, platelets, thrombocytes, and plasma. Composition of blood. Formed elements in plasma. The formed elements are erythrocytes, leukocytes, platelets. Plasma should be 55% plasma and 45% formed elements. Red blood cells, oxygen, buffy coat, small buffy coat with no oxygen. Platelets are like broken up. They aren't even full cells, they're broken up. Formed elements of blood include two types of blood cells, erythrocytes and leukocytes. Erythrocytes, red blood cells, most numerous of the two. Leukocytes, white blood cells, and one incomplete blood cell are platelets. And that makes up formed elements. Platelets, erythrocytes, and leukocytes. Neutrophils, blood cells and platelets. Neutrophil, eosinophil, basophil, lymphocytes, monocytes, platelets, and erythrocytes. So platelets are broken up cells. That's what they look like. Flattened erythrocytes are the red blood cells. Flattened biconcave discs provide erythrocytes. Flattened biconcave disc provides increased surface area for gas exchange, lack nuclei in mitochondria, and can survive 120 days. Leukocytes, white blood cells, contain a nuclei in mitochondria, move in amboid fashion, can squeeze through capillary walls. Diapedesis is when leukocytes squeeze through capillary walls. Leukocytes, almost invisible, so are named after their stains. Neutrophils are the most abundant of white blood cells, account for 50 to 70% of white blood cells. All are involved in immune function, survive 12 hours. Leukocytes survive 12 hours or 3 days or 100 to 300 days. So leukocytes are white blood cells, and all white blood cells are involved in immune function. Leukocytes, leukocytes, oh, here's another one on leukocytes. Leukocytes have a nucleus, mitochondria, and amboid ability, can squeeze through capillary walls, diapedesis. Granular leukocytes help detoxify foreign substances and release heparin. Include eosinophils, basophil, and neutrophil. So that's what makes up the leukocyte. Agranular leukocytes are phagocytic and produce antibodies. Include in lymphocytes and monocytes. Lymphocyte and monocyte. Platelets also are called thrombocytes. Are the smallest of the formed elements, are fragments of megakaryocytes, lack a nuclei, have amboid movement, important in blood clotting, constitute most of the mass of the clot, release serotonin to reduce blood flow to an area, secrete growth factors, maintain integrity of the blood vessel wall. And that's what platelets look like. Survive 5 to 9 days. Platelets survive 5 to 9 days. Man, it's not that long. Plasma, straw-colored liquid, consists of H2O and dissolved solutes. Dissolved solutes in plasma are ions, metabolites, hormones, and proteins. Sodium is the major solute of the plasma. Plasma proteins constitute 7 to 9% of plasma. The plasma proteins are albumins, globulins, and fibrinogen. Albumin accounts for 60 to 80% of plasma proteins, provide the osmotic pressure needed to draw H2O from interstitial fluid to capillaries, and they maintain blood pressure. Plasma proteins, globulins, A and B globulins transport lipids and fat-soluble vitamins. Y globulins, antibodies that function in immunity. Plasma proteins, fibrinogen constitutes 4% of plasma proteins, important clotting factor, converted into fibrin during the clotting process. A few more notes about blood. Homeostasis equals the formation of blood cells. Hematopoiesis is the formation of blood cells. My bad. Hematopoiesis equals the formation of blood cells. There's two types of hematopoiesis, erythropoiesis and leukopoiesis. Erythropoiesis is formation of red blood cells. Leukopoiesis is the formation of white blood cells. Erythropoiesis and leukopoiesis occur in myeloid tissue, bone marrow of long bones, and lymphoid tissue. Stem cells differentiate into blood cells. Stem cells differentiate into blood cells. Erythropoiesis. 2.5 million red blood cells are produced every second. They need iron, vitamin B12, and folic acid for synthesis. Process is regulated by erythropoietin. Erythropoietin is produced by the kidneys. Old red blood cells are destroyed in the spleen and liver. Iron is recycled back into myeloid tissue to be reused in the red blood cell synthesis. Homeoblast, erythroblast, normoblast, nucleus expelled, reticulocyte, erythrocytes. Okay. Leukopoiesis, cytokine, autocrine secretions secreted by the immune system stimulate the different types and stages of white blood cell production. Cytokines secreted by the immune system stimulate different types of stages of white blood cell production. In leukopoiesis, thrombopoiesis, cytokines stimulate different differentiation of megakaryocytes into platelets. Thrombopoietin is the regulatory substance that stimulates this process. Thrombopoiesis, the thrombocyte gives rise to cells undergo mitotic division, accompanied by cytoplasmic division to reduce megakaryocytes. The cytoplasm of the megakaryocyte becomes compartmentalized membranes, and the plasma membrane then fragments, liberating the platelets. Intermediate stages between the homeoblast and megakaryoblast are not illustrated. Hemocytoblast, megakaryotoblast, promokaryocyte, megakaryocyte, and platelets. Megakaryocyte to platelets. Homeostasis, blood clotting. Cessation of bleeding. Platelets normally repel away from endothelial lining by prostacylin, initiated by vessel injury, vasoconstriction, platelet plug, web of fibrin. Damage to endothelial wall, exposed subendothelial tissue to blood. What is this tissue? Oh man, I can't think of it. Okay, simple squamous epithelium. All right, let's redo that. Damage to endothelial wall, exposes subendothelial tissue to blood. Simple squamous epithelium is that tissue. Platelets release reaction. Endothelial cells secrete von Willebrand factor. Platelets to adhere to collagen. Platelets release ADP, serotonin, and thromboxane, A2. Platelets release reaction. Serotonin plus thromboxane, A2, stimulate vasoconstriction. ADP plus thromboxane, A2, make other platelets sticky. These events produce a platelet plug. Later, this is strengthened by the activation of plasma clotting factors, fibrinogen. And that's it for blood. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe.